Welcome to the final installation in the upgrade videos of my 2010 5,1 Mac Pro. And in today's video, we are going to upgrade the graphics such that this will now have better graphics than every Mac ever made in all of history, including the base 2019 Mac Pro. This is the most amount of money I've ever spent on a graphics card. This right here is a Radeon VII. This was actually the least expensive one that I could find brand new. I got this from Newegg for $645, I think. It was right around there. Now, you can find these cards from anywhere between $650 to $700. I happened to get lucky and found one that was going on sale. And also, because it's an AMD card, if you just wait just a couple of months, I'm sure these things will be down in the $500 range. But anyway, because I'm trying to be timely about this video series, here we have it, the AMD Radeon VII. So the card that's currently running in my Mac Pro is no slouch. It's a Radeon R9 290X, came out in about 2013, I think, something like that. I've had it for, I guess, almost 6 years at this point. I've had it since I bought it new. It's definitely not a bad card. It works in Mojave because it's metal supported. You can get them for about $100 and they're pretty decent. If you want to do gaming on them, I don't know how much gaming you're going to do in a Mac Pro, but they can push 1080p over 60 FPS at high and ultra settings in most games. But today we're going to step it up quite significantly to the Radeon VII. The most powerful graphics in any Mac that costs $6,000 or less allows for some pretty incredible graphics work, animation, and VR. Fortunately, if you need to brush up on your skills, today's video sponsor Skillshare is here to help. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over 25,000 classes in design, video production, and so much more. For just $10 a month, you can nab an annual subscription and unlimited access to the classes and communities that are right for you. The graphics we're putting in this Mac Pro is more than enough to do advanced animation and graphic design, so head over to my link in the description below to get yourself a free 2 months of Skillshare Premium. And now, back to the video. So, there's two things that you need to know. My Mac Pro has been modded. I talked about this in my initial video. It's called the Pixlos mod. I'll have that linked down below, a tutorial on everything you need. It basically will tap external PCIe power into the power supply directly, because if you go through the logic board, there are little mini 6-pin connectors. You can actually overload the logic board because it's only rated for 225 watts. The R9 as well as the Radeon VII are rated for about 300 watts, so you definitely need more power if you're going to install these upgrades. So the second thing is, you may be wondering, well, it's not the most powerful graphics card, because right now you can get a 2080, which is arguably similar, maybe more powerful in some areas than the Radeon VII, and of course the 2080 Ti and the Titan RTX, a whole bunch of graphics cards from the green team that are more powerful than a Radeon VII. Now sure, you could technically put a Titan RTX in a Mac Pro and run Windows, but at that point, is it even really a Mac? You're not even using Mac OS, so this is definitely going to be the most powerful Mac OS running Mac Pro. Until, I don't know, probably a month after I release this video, Apple's gonna be like, you know what, NVIDIA drivers, come on over here. We wanna make Luke's video obsolete. Get on in here. Not that that's a bad thing. They should definitely do that. But until then, this is the most powerful graphics that we can run in a Mac. Apart from, of course, the Radeon Pro Vega 2, but you need to spend like probably close to $8,000 in a Mac Pro to get those types of graphics. So I think we're just gonna stick with the Radeon VII for right now. Alright, well, let's get an initial benchmark of the R9 290X that's already in this Mac Pro. Alright, so while I'm running the compute benchmark, one thing to keep in mind is the compute benchmarks in macOS have been a little bit wonky lately. People reported with the Radeon VII that the Geekbench 4 compute scores were not matching up with the performance they were seeing. So take this with a grain of salt, but we should at least be able to see some improvement from the 290X to the Radeon VII. Alright, so we have a baseline of 116,383. Alright, so next up we're going to run the Unigine Heaven benchmark on the Extreme preset that allows some sort of comparisons Whenever I run this benchmark, I do the extreme preset so I can compare all of my tests together. And as you can see, it's running really well. This is definitely a solid card. Alright, so we're looking at a score of 1,112, which is actually a little bit better than what I've seen previously with this card. It seems to be getting better as I go along. Anyway, that's our baseline. Let's go ahead and upgrade the graphics. Let's start by opening up the Radeon VII. So as you can see, this is not the fancy pants edition. It's pretty basic packaging, as I would probably expect, given that this is the least expensive one I could find. Holy mama, that's a big card. That is a large boy. Fortunately, it is a dual slot, so we're not going to run into any issues with running out of space for our other internal PCIe connections. But man, this is a big guy. I really like this back plate. This is a cool look. Holy Christ. I've never spent this much money on a graphics card before. I got a 1080 when the price dropped. It was like 500 bucks. So this is definitely the most expensive graphics card I've ever bought. Let's put it in the Mac Pro and fire it up. The really crazy thing about this whole upgrade is we don't even need a screwdriver. It's that easy to do. So you can see right here is my modded PCIe power. We're going to need both of those 8 pins because this is a big, power-hungry card. So I'm going to pull those out. Then we just have a couple thumb screws to release the existing graphics card that we've got in this machine. That just slides right on out. Pull back this little clip here, and we can pull out the Radeon R9 290X. You can see this is, honestly, this is not a well-cooled card. This is a blower style. This card runs really, really hot. I am totally digging this aesthetic. We've got the whole silver and black is everywhere on this machine. This is a really nice look. Lock that into place. And just like that, graphics are installed. It's that easy. This thing is so stupidly easy to work on. Oh, it's amazing. Alright, let's see if it worked. Okay, I pressed the power button, and now the waiting game begins, because of course, well, this does have driver support, this graphics card. Obviously, it's not a flashed card, it's not going to have the EFI boot screen. That's pretty much any card you're going to put in these things. It's not going to have a boot screen, so we basically got to sit around, holding our breath and waiting. There it is! Haha! I was a little nervous. Okay. It's displaying. Let's go to About This Mac and see what it sees. Oh, Radeon 7 16GB. Oh, mama. This is looking spicy. So currently, the full specs are 2 6-core Xeons, 128GB of RAM, a Radeon 7 16GB, and an NVMe SSD. This is a 9-year-old system. It was made in 2010. Just let that sink in and then think about the specs. That is amazing. That is what a support network should look like. Okie dokie, let's run the compute benchmark. Remember, our score before was 116,000 and something. So let's see what we get now. So we're looking at 139,632. So again, as I said, take this with a grain of salt. macOS 10.14.5 is the first version that has any sort of support for the Radeon 7, and just came out as of the filming of this video less than a month ago. So the drivers aren't perfect for this thing. They have kind of been going all over the place, and the Geekbench scores in general have been a bit of a mess. So yeah, I just booted up into Windows and ran the same Geekbench compute test, and you can see it's pretty significantly better. 215,000 is a lot more than 140,000, so clearly macOS drivers haven't quite caught up to the stock default Radeon drivers, but I expect, given a few update cycles, they'll catch up. So let's go ahead and run Heaven. Wow, I already have to say, it's looking a lot more buttery. Alrighty, and our score is 2,222. That is pretty much double, actually almost exactly double what we were getting before. So that kind of gives you a better idea of the performance gulf. Alright, so before I go for today's video, I want to talk about two things, and I promise that I'll have a final video with this Mac Pro now that it's completely upgraded, and we'll do some games, we'll do benchmarks, we'll do comparisons, we're going to do all of that stuff, so make sure you're subscribed for that. But until then, there's two things that I want to mention. Now, the first of those things is bottlenecks. Obviously, this machine, like most machines, are going to have some bottlenecks. Now, you may be thinking, the 2010 Mac Pro has PCIe 2.0. This is a PCIe 3.0 card, as pretty much all the cards you're going to be able to buy nowadays are. Isn't that going to cause a bottleneck? Well, not really. The bottleneck in this case is mainly going to be CPU bound because the single-threaded performance isn't great. So the CPU is going to bottleneck before we could get enough bandwidth, get enough stuff passing through that PCIe lane to really cause a bottleneck through the PCIe 2.0 slot. So I'm not really worried about that. Now, the second thing is you saw me just pretty much plug and play with this graphics card. That was the easiest upgrade process I've ever done in one of these videos. I didn't need a screwdriver. It was just in and out. Obviously, you're going to have to do some prep work. The Pixlos mod does take a good amount of hands-on, but is not particularly difficult. Now, where it gets a little bit tricky is, I mentioned that macOS Mojave 10.14.5 was what announced support for the Radeon VII. So that's where it gets a little bit confusing. Like if you were to go out and buy one of these with the stock card, the HD 5770, obviously you couldn't be running Mojave because it doesn't support it on that card. So then you're thinking, wait a minute, because you gotta get from High Sierra to 10.14.5. So the stock card can't go to 10.14.5, and the Radeon 7 can't go back to before 10.14.5. So how do you get there? Well, there's two main ways you could do it. You could do what I did, which was essentially have a different metal-supported graphics card that could allow you to do that update process. Now, the other option that you have is to use something like a patcher. Like, you probably don't want to go out and buy a metal-supported graphics card just so that you can update. So what I would recommend is using something like the DOS-Dude 1 patcher, which will allow you to get all up to date, and then you can put in your Radeon 7 and it'll work right out of the box. Additionally, the Radeon 7 is probably not the best value for this machine. What I would recommend, if you want to get the best bang for your buck, get something like a Vega 56 or a Vega 64 or even a Vega Frontier Edition. Those are going to be less powerful than the Radeon 7, but given that you're going to be bottlenecking that Radeon 7 a decent amount with this older hardware, it might be worth saving some money and getting like a Vega 56. You can get those for under $300 now, and that would offer very, very solid performance. So I'll talk about my full budget loadout recommendation in my final video, but that's just some thoughts for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As usual, make sure to follow me on Twitter @LukeMiani. Don't forget to join my subreddit if you have any questions or are working on upgrading your very own 5.1 Mac Pro. Also, let me know down in the comments below if you think this was a worthwhile upgrade. And with that, I will see you all in the next video.